Hi everyone, welcome to Media Summary number 7. This week we're talking about Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. And so I focused on these books because these books are part of the minor prophets and take place after the exile when the people were returning to Israel and trying to rebuild. What stood out to me with this is how these prophets were not just about speaking about the future, they were addressing real-time issues that the people were dealing with at that current time. And so with Haggai, he basically deals with priorities and obedience. In Haggai chapter 1 verses 2 through 8, you see that Haggai focuses on priorities, a lot about priorities, and the people have returned from exile, but instead of building the temple, what you think they would do, they were focusing on their own homes and personal lives. Because of that, things were not going well for them. Haggai challenges them to shift their focus back onto God and rebuild the temple. What stood out to me is how direct the message was. It basically shows that when God is not first, things can feel off, even if everything looks fine. Haggai calls the people to take action and not just think about it. And once they respond, you start to see change. This connects a lot to today because it's easy to get distracted in the world that we live in and put other things first. But the book reminds me that priorities matter. Being obedient, and obedience does not require action. It requires action, not just an attention to action. When I say we get so distracted on things today, oh, I gotta go do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, but what did God tell you to do? It's not about, oh, I had plans to do that. What action did you put toward it? So in Zechariah, he basically dealt with hope and restoration. Zechariah's message is a little different here. It includes visions and symbolic imagery. But the main theme is hope and restoration. Even though the people had gone through judgment, God was still promising to restore them and be with them again. That comes out of Zechariah chapter 1 verses 16 through 17. And something that stood out to me is how this message balances correction with encouragement. It's not just about what went wrong, it's also about what God is doing to move forward. Zechariah also points toward future hope, which goes beyond just rebuilding the temple. For me, this shows that even after difficult seasons, there is still a future. It reminds me that God's plans are not just about correction, but it's also about restoration. When I say this semester, it has definitely, when I say been difficult, very, going through storms, but it also showed me corrections of what I needed to change and what I didn't need to do. But also at the same time, God is still in the midst of rebuilding me. My God. In Malachi, it was more about the heart and the commitment. The book of Malachi focuses more on the heart behind worship and obedience. The people were still going through the motions, but their attitude and commitment were not where they should have been. Malachi calls this out, especially in areas like worship, giving, and relationships. In Malachi 1, 6 through 8, and 3, 8 through 10, you will see this play out. What stood out to me is how honest and direct the message is. It shows that it is not enough just to do the right things on the outside. God is looking for about the heart behind it. You can dress it up, but what? is behind it. That's why it doesn't matter. Oh, I love using this saying. It doesn't matter how pretty you are on the outside. It's on what's on the inside. You can do these good deeds on the outside, but is that really what your heart is? Is that how your heart is set up? Are you just doing it to be recognized? Are you doing, oh, she's a good person, but are you really a good person? Because eventually what's on the inside will seep out. That is one of my biggest mottos in life is you can look pretty on the outside, but what's on the inside? Is it pretty on the inside? For me, these books connect in a really clear way. Haggai focuses on priorities. Zechariah focuses on hope. Malachi focuses on the heart. And together they show a full picture of what it looks like to really follow God. This made me think about how easy it is to get off track. And even while doing the right things, you can be busy, consistent, and still not fully aligned. These books challenge and bring the focus back to what really matters. It also reminded me that God does not just correct, He also restores. Even when people fall short, and I'm guilty, there is still an opportunity to respond and grow. Overall, these books show that God is concerned with priorities, hope, and the condition of your heart. This message is not just about what people were doing wrong, it's about also how they can move forward. This helped me understand that faith is not just about actions, but it's really about alignment, intention, and response. It's not just about hearing a message, but actually truly living it out. So I hope this message helped you tonight, because it definitely spoke to me, and it's basically like a whole like a diagram for me, dissect me, because this message really helped me. Hope you had a blessed night.